the G20. It is a huge event, and it involves Australia's biggest ever security operation. Ross Greenwood joins us now. Ross, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Carl. How do you go with the shirt tucked into the jeans look as you're going for a walk, mate?
Look, it's not something I would do, but he is the Prime Minister.
He can do whatever he likes,
well,
can't
I think when you swagger like that.
Yeah, I think so. That's exactly right. It's interesting stuff. I'll tell you what, the interesting part about this also is the security around the place, and there is no doubt right now that you've got all sorts of issues in terms of the leaders coming in. So the Australian Federal Police has left no stone left unturned in regards to the security of the passengers, but also those dignitaries who are arriving in Brisbane. The G20 is known for all the leaders coming into town, but the truth is what most people are seeing is the incredible security around it. And that means lots of police officers.
We've just about doubled our capacity here at the airport. We've got almost 200 Australian Federal Police.
And this is the nerve centre, the major incident control room at Brisbane Airport.
Over the period of the G20, there'll be 41 state aircraft movements, but we've also got what we call internationally protected persons that are coming in on the commercial flights as well. What we're here to do is make sure that we've got 24/7 coverage from now until the last aircraft leaves on Monday.
Susie, this dog here, Louie, he's my sort of dog, you know. You know why? He smells out cash, doesn't he?
There are limits to how much cash people are allowed to bring into the country, declared and undeclared. Our dogs are trained to find $10,000 cash as a minimum. That's not to say they won't find less than that. Our dogs are looking for firearms, explosives, currency and drugs. Their noses can detect up to 1 million times better than a human's, and it will take a dog a fraction of the time to search an area that it will take a person to search it.
Go and find some cash for me, Louie. Well, as you can see, Jeff is part of bomb response, and what that means is unaccompanied baggage. Just explain it, Jeff. What do you do?
Well, Ross, what we do here is we have the bag here, put this in front of the item.
All right, thank you for that, Ross. It was great behind-the-scenes look there.
It was
with
incredible.
The
It really was a great opportunity to see it.
What's going on here this morning, isn't there? Around here, a lot of bars. Also, knowing that there's that security there's lots of protests planned as well, but it's all been very well coordinated, hasn't it?
Oh, it really has been. So the security has been ramped up today. There's no doubt about that. We've been able to get into this venue pretty easily over the past few days, but this morning, Carl, it was much more difficult. So the cordon has been thrown out even further. But do bear in mind that there were 27 registered protests that were due with the police. 14 of those were going to happen on Saturday, when the temperature is likely to reach perhaps, you know, the high 30s, even 40 degrees they're talking about now. So it's clearly going to be something that the authorities are going to have to be very, very careful about at a time when, of course, in here the business is all about trying to see how they can get the world to grow faster and create a few more jobs.
We'll get onto that in just a second. I mean, the good folks of Brisbane, they've been inconvenienced, there's no doubt about that. But looking ahead to the long-term and short-term benefits from this G20, they are significant. I mean, even shots like this this morning of David Cameron and Tony Abbott down by the Sydney Harbour on a picture-perfect day. You've got to think those pictures are going to be beamed around the world as they walk up near the Opera House and Bennelong Point. That is the money shot, isn't it? And that's why this is so important, this G20. And it gets the eyes of the world looking at Australia on a picture-perfect Sydney morning, but then to Brisbane as well in the next couple of days.
Well, what it is, it's a reminder to the world that really you've got the leaders here in Australia. Those shots are going back into the UK. There are going to be shots going back into the United States or into Russia or wherever it might be. And that's important for Australia. So in other words, news is going to be made here over these next couple of days. And really, that's the reason why you've got such a big media centre with some 3,000 media in attendance right now. But you would hope that there's something tangible. That's what Joe Hockey's been looking for the whole time. Something tangible to come out of all this.
Right, and look, these pictures are unedited, and forgive me for being a bit rough, but we're getting to them to you at home as soon as we possibly can, and that's what you're getting this morning. But that's the money shot for Tony Abbott, isn't it, this morning as these world leaders come in. He'll be doing that with every world leader, and there are significant ones coming in. What do you think is going to be done business-wise? I mean, there's talk about cracking down on international companies tax-wise. Joe Hockey was talking about that when we spoke to him a little while ago. He seems pretty confident there's going to be something done about that.
Well, he described that as theft when he's had a press conference here yesterday. In other words, companies who don't pay tax where they earn it, he's calling it theft. And the whole point about this is, remember that the companies of the world are strong right now, but the governments financially are relatively weak. And the governments want to redress that balance. And this is what partly I think they're going to be trying to do here in the sessions over the next couple of days.
Just quickly before we go, economically, how important is this G20 summit when you talk about real outcomes?
Well, look, if you consider that the target is for growth to be 2 percentage points higher than what it was in 5 years' time, and what they're saying is that that is trillions of dollars flowing into the global economies, that's going back as taxes to those governments, and they're saying many millions of jobs could be created as a result of the initiative. So let's just see, in Australia, I think it's going to be all about infrastructure, more infrastructure coming in, and I think that's the key you're going to have.
Busy time for you.
Indeed.
Eyes of the world on Brisbane as we speak. It's good to see the city is ready. Thank you, Ross.
No
See you very
problems at all.
soon. Ross not going far for the Nine Network over the next couple of days.